the call during the last meeting, which was held on Thursday, if I recall, on the 9th of March, we did agree on the following, that the Nigerian midstream and downstream petroleum regulatory authority should come with the following information: list of companies that have been issued license for importation of aviation fuel within the last 3 months. List of companies that have been supplying fuel for the past 1 year. Breakdown of sales of aviation fuel for the past 1 year. Breakdown of the pricing of the aviation fuel for the past 1 year. That the regulatory should identify and put a stop to the operation of the cartel that is creating the artificial scarcity and collecting upfront cash payments from airline operators at the airports. That another meeting will be held with the marketers in attendance, that's today, so that they could also tell their own side of the story. That all the relevant stakeholders should, as a matter of urgency, work together and come up with ways and means of bringing down normalcy to the aviation sector and present a progress report. And we did agree, not only progress report, we did also agree that we should have a reversal of the pricing as of that day to bring it to the price mean which it was agreed. I suppose this is a summary of what we all agreed. Go through this, whether this is a document.
Yes, sir.
Go through it first. Thank you. Yes, sir. It is a document.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So we can admit it now as authentic coming from you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Colleagues, take note that this document has been admitted and is tendered as a working document for us. We'll come back to the documents later, but for now, we want to know the progress in terms of what effort they have done to bring down the price of the aviation oil. This was the second leg of our own resolution. Can you brief us what you have done in that regard?
Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, I want to use this opportunity first to thank the House for the very patriotic assignment you're undergoing now. As was said on Thursday, the aviation industry is very critical to, very strategic to the economy. And we appreciate the intervention that the House leadership has taken. And we also commit to assisting the House and providing all the necessary information for them to enable the right decisions to be taken. As directed, we sent out the documents requested conveying the information required. On Thursday when we left, the GMD leading us with the GED as well, we sat down and we started speaking to all the marketers that import ATK. Unfortunately, they all work out of Lagos, so it could only be a telephone conversation. But we were able to reach some grounds. We urged them to provide over the weekend quite some volumes at very discounted rates. And they were to sit down with the airlines and agree on those. We also asked them to be here present so that they can make direct commitments to this Honorable House so that these matters can be resolved very speedily.
I don't know what you mean by discounted rate. When you say you ask them to give a very discounted rate, I don't know what you mean by that.
This, maybe if they will be able to speak about what the price is. Yes, sir.
We did agree on a number of measures to be taken, and I believe all that we agreed also that it was practicable what we were asking for, or we directed. So what I thought is that we look at the indicators and the factors of cost of bringing a landing cost, and we said it wasn't appropriate in terms of the pricing. So would you also acknowledge and then came to terms with us, and that's why I say you are going to ask and ensure the reversal, and then when you say discounted, it's another economic terms. That's why I say I don't understand the meaning of the word discounted rate. We're not asking those who are in the market to go and be losers in their own aspect, but what is supposed to be done is giving a balanced win-win situation for everybody. While they make their gains, this other one survive too. Not one surviving at the detriment of the other.
Yes, maybe no matter what baptism they give it.
I don't want the baptism that is wrongly used. Because
no, what I think is that it's very specific here, what they have agreed to be the landing cost. Is it within the range of what you had anticipated, the discounted rate, and to what extent has it been,
Sir, if you get to a market and you are buying a product, if they are telling you discounted, you know that there was a price fixed, but because of certain factors, that's why factors in terms of whether there's so much sale, the person has made so much gain, then he will now say, okay, I've discounted the money to this. He has made his gain. I don't want that economic terms to come to what we are doing on a true note. Yes, sir. I may be too naive. I'm sorry.
Yes. You may recall that what led to that was, you know, there were questions that were asked and there were answers. You recall that we asked a question about the products, which you said that these products are available. Okay? We now said whatever the price, the current prices they bought those products is not supposed to affect whatever they are selling it or whatever is in the prevailing market rate. We now ask that they should go back and bring out, since they have a custody of those products, that they should bring those products out and start selling them at that same price. That's how what we agreed. Because you said that I think about 34.9, whatever. Yes, that's what you said then. You know, so that's actually what he meant. Not discounted. It shouldn't be discounted.
So, Right Honorable, the use of discounted, when we spoke to them, we've provided information about the landing cost of ATK. We've provided two different costs. One is if you're buying with CBN dollars or if you're buying from the parallel markets. One is 400 plus, the other one is 500 plus. They are the ones that can speak to how they've purchased their products. We tried to impress upon them. We spoke to them and said, you have to sell this. And a number of them argued that the figures we were suggesting would be far below what they bought it for. And their replacement, you can no longer get replacement cargo if you sell below that. So we asked them for the weekend to dedicate some volumes, like 2 million volumes, and then discount that. They were meant to then sit down with the airlines and then arrive at that, agree at those volumes. That's where we were, sir.
Well, that is your own internal arrangement.
Yes, sir.
Our agreement and resolution, when I say resolution is what we agree with you, was that you go and do the needful in terms of, and I remember my words. Sorry, sir. You go and do the needful. If I recall, building on what Honorable Sada contributed that day, he brought out the issue of what a dollar in terms of crude oil per barrel was, the trend in terms of rise, and it does not reflect a 100% increase. And it does not reflect a 100% increase, and the sale of aviation oil from 190 to now escalate to 670. It was too much, the rise, and then the percentage cannot be computed alongside. And that's why I said, no, it cannot work that way. And if I recall, the aviation told you that all over, the percentage in terms of what they do, it's about 30% in terms of what is cost for flying. I have the summary of what we have done. I am just trying to refresh our mind so that we do not do a kind of backward movement. What we expect is progress today. And I'll be much happier that we have dedicated our time not to come here to waste your own time too, but to do things in the interest of our own country. That we have resolved, I expect you to come forward with an information that everybody will be happy. And I do recall, let me give the summary. I do recall also GMD assured us of what we prayed for, or what the House was asking for, that it will be done. And he assured, and this was what was being transmitted all over the television houses. And so, why are we using language now to confuse our brains? Some of us that have don't confuse my head. Telling me exactly what you have done. We didn't ask to go and ask the airliners to go and negotiate. No, it's not that way. Government, I didn't mention to you. If you want me to quote the relevant section of the Constitution, I'll quote it to you and give it to you. The primary aim of any government is first, welfare, protection of life. We can't allow our citizens not to have a lever that they can leverage on in terms of their own. It's not possible. And we are doing the things that whatever that we're asking for is out of the laws we made. Our oversight is normal oversight. I want you to cooperate. I've seen your computation. I will speak to your documents. I don't know why you have to begin to compare what is the open market. And that's why immediately I saw that, I asked that the chairman banking and currency should also be here. If you want us to bring the CBN governor, will also bring him. We thought today we were going to end the meeting out of what we have agreed, but it's like you want us to escalate the meeting. And we're willing to go to that. We're willing to go to that. So that the right thing will be done in the interest of all and our country. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Well, Mr. Speaker, I think some of these issues, they should be fact-based, and they should be self-evident when they're explained. And from the ED's explanation, from what he said, it looks like what has happened is an interim measure for the weekend, and it's not sustainable. And apparently, it's giving the impression that the marketers buy at different rates, CBN rate and all that, and that you know, it has a function with regard to what they sell to the market. But these are matters of fact. So if the marketers are here, we would like to interact with them. I mean, what is determining your prices? Why are you hoarding? And why is it not possible that somebody would book and would want to travel by 8:40? I wanted to travel by 8:40 this morning. They told me that AP's IBOM have cancelled their flights or have shifted their flights because they're waiting for aviation fuel. I had to come in by 12 o'clock. My flight was 8:40. Ibom Air that was supposed to move 9:30 moved to 12:30. So it is bringing a lot of dysfunction to the economy and people travel time. So we want to have a level of certainty. And if we are saying that landing cost is 418 as you're stating here for the CBN rate, who approves CBN rate and who approves the black market rate?
You say even the black market rate, if you look at the black market rate, it's far, far above the black market that we know. You are saying a black market rate here is about 575. It's not so. It's not so.
Mr. Speaker, you know, it's very clear. This is a delicate sector of the economy. I wouldn't know why NMPC that has the proprietary opportunity to manage who brings in these products. And
his agency has the right. He's the one in charge. And let me maybe put it right on where on. If you are giving somebody a license, it means then you are supposed to regulate this activity. Are you just giving a license? What are the minimum requirements? What is expected of that company? They are authorizing them to bring in this product. Is it that they have the opportunity and then they leverage to tell you whatever rate that this is what it has to stand? No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So, sir, I think I would like to take on the marketing companies.
No, let him answer first before the market. The marketer will first ask them to come. Let him clear the air for us as to his own function. Because as far as I'm concerned, he has a greater role in moderating whatever is happening. We'll listen to them, but let him speak to us.
Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, first of all, if you recall on Thursday, I started by explaining that ATK is a deregulated product. It's deregulated. It's only PMS that the price is pegged in the market. AGO, which is going above 700 because of what is happening now, it's not just ATK. Every product, if the GMD was able to speak to the under-recoveries and what he's struggling to remain at the pump price, then you would understand that it's not a mono-product thing. It's a general thing across the basket. And it's not even just a local thing. It's a global thing. And so when a product is deregulated, yes, we have rules to forestall cartels and all, which is not what we have noticed in the industry. We have sufficient products. What I gave on Thursday has even increased over the weekend in terms of product. So what we observe is that it's a commercial challenge between the airlines and the marketers in arriving at price. The marketers have their own position, and they're saying we can't sell. The airline suggested here in the meeting, they should go back to 200 naira per liter. The GMD immediately intervened and said nobody can sell per liter 200 naira to you because these are the figures, the landing costs. So we tried to push them on Thursday as to specific prices and volumes they should do. And they said, no, we can't go below this. They are here to speak to those facts. And it's here now. All this can be resolved here right away, Right Honorable, because all parties are here. So if we listen to them, they will be able to say, this is what we can do, this is not what we can do.
You are the leading witness. Investigative hearing of any parliament is like quasi-court. You are the leading witness, and you are the one to lead us to the right direction. I cannot listen to them much because you are the regulator. The law allows you to do that. The law allows you to issue license. It does not allow because it is one of the regulated aspect. Everybody, it's not everybody that is allowed to bring in this product. GMD knows the suffering he has done to try to bring back normalcy in terms of the adulterated fuel we have because of the carelessness of some few persons. And it has cost us. Is it the situation where we have found ourselves in the past that you are trying to put us back? I said we are not willing. You remember I used the word, don't blackmail this government. And we are not willing to accept blackmail. I want to still emphasize to you. I don't know, is that the spokesman for the marketers? We would like to hear from them.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Olumide Adeosun here. I have listened with... I can swap over, Abi. Nah, it's okay. I'll make this work, yeah. So I've listened to the exchange between you and the ED. And I think the point I need to make very clear, sir, around the pricing of ATK in particular, is that first of all the middle distillates, it is the most expensive and precious to handle. Sir, in terms of how the pricing today has arrived, it is exactly a computation, as the man has said, it's exactly a computation of those of us who source products or who source FX in the open market. You put the rate there. But, sir, there are some intricacies that are more nuanced than what I think is being discussed here today. Many people go out, when you buy ATK from a trader or any product, in fact, you have various pricing options to take on. One of those options is that you open an LC and you pay over time. Some of those options allow you to trigger lots, which means that even though I have product in my tank, I may have bought 10 KT of products. Sir, I will only be able to determine the price of one because I want to take advantage of the variations in the market. Because on the day I buy that product, sir, it may be expensive. So if we look at what it's doing today, we say it's $1,500 today, sir, for a ton. If I buy today, if I book an order today, but I'll do it so that I trigger some lots. So I'll price the first 1 KT at that price, but I will leave the others to float so that I can price it so it gets cheaper in tank. So just because, first of all, and I'm speaking broadly here now, sir, I represent the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria. There is somebody else here representing the depot owners. But I'm just trying to explain how we buy ATK. So that price, so just because somebody has product in a tank today, does not automatically follow that they have determined the price of that product. That's a fact. And that is how sometimes we in Nigeria can enjoy products at a slightly cheaper rate, even though you bought at a high rate. You can't determine the price. The price moves all of the time, sir. And if we look at the history of the pricing of ATK, even this year alone, or using the index that we buy from, sir, the story is there. But, sir, let me just take us back. Please, sir.
I just want you to carry us along so that we'll all be in the same page with you. Maybe illustrate to us with examples of the period that Nigeria have enjoyed this advantage that you have mentioned.
Very good, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I will draw your attention to a period that started around the 17th of March 2020, when many of us had brought in parcels of ATK. You'll recall, sir, that around the end of that month of March, the entire aviation sector collapsed, where nobody was going anywhere, but everybody had bought the products at the top of the market. I can speak for the company I represent, Adova PLC. We had about 12 KT. We spent the entire year shifting that 12 KT. We sold that thing on the floor. We bought at the top of the market, and we sold that thing. The total loss was around 2 billion. Even this year, sir, if you look at where the prices started from, there's a correlation I have here. Where's that correlation that shows?
I say,
sir,
lead us well. If you are saying what was the price you bought, what price were you selling?
So let's look at the pricing on here, sir. So on the 1st of March, 2022.
No, for 2020.
For 2020?
Yes, sir. Oh, the price. What was the price that you bought, and what price were you selling? So I want us to carry so that.
So ATK, I think total we lost about 2 billion naira. We bought at maybe about $480–500 a ton. By the time we were done, we were selling that product. We were selling it for near nothing. We were selling it for near nothing.
I think give us the figure.
So we were selling at about $120 a ton, a quarter of the price. The international airlines buy on a month's average, previous month's average. So it's a pricing bucket. We don't sell to them on a price every day. For international carriers, I have a 12-month minimum contract that I sign. The pricing on that contract is SIF, is whatever the flights index is, and it's a month's average for the prior month. So I'm always pricing on a look back. So if I bought at an average price of 500 in March, and it dropped to 200 average price in April, then they pay me 200 in April. The average price in April.
So what's the practice locally?
So the practice locally, sir, is that we typically buy and sell on credit. Let me explain, sir. For each of the airlines that are significant, that are material, that are big buyers, I'll name some: Air Peace, Arik, Max Air, who brought me here today. We sell to them on credit. For most of us, we have noticed that since the end of last year, the price of product was getting higher, which had two impacts. It meant that the airlines needed working capital to increase. It meant that we as inventory holders also needed working capital to increase. So for most of the airlines that we deal with today, we have increased their credit. And I'm not telling tales out of school here, we can give specifics. For Arik, we were trading, we were at 115 credits at the start of the year. We're now at 150 with them. For Air Peace, we were at 120, we're now at 200 million naira in credit. At any given point in time, those accounts are delinquent. And that's a fact. That is a fact. At any given point in time, those accounts are delinquent.
Why couldn't APs take me from Enugu 840 to this place by the time it's scheduled?
My Honorable Sir, I completely empathize with that, because Max Air 2 was supposed to carry me from Lagos at 7 a.m. this morning. They did not leave until 10.
Why should that happen?
Sir, that is the market adjusting to a steep drop in market conditions that are outside of the Nigerian market. So I have one. I mean, there are some very easy things that we can discuss here. Do you know, sir, that there are refineries in Nigeria today that produce ATK? Do you know why we cannot sell that ATK today, sir? We cannot sell that ATK today because they have to be licensed. Every modular refinery that produces diesel produces ATK. It's a middle distillate. It's the same thing. Density is the only difference. But they cannot sell today because the refineries themselves are not certified. And it's absolutely critical that ATK that is produced in Nigeria must be priced in Nigeria. So the point I'm trying to make, sir, is that
Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, and the leadership of the indefatigable Green Chambers. Once again, we want to thank the honorable members to doing the feat to fight for Nigerians. We really appreciate this. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, nobody on this side of the divide has answered your question. You've been asking them one particular question, neither from there, neither from here. Everybody's dancing around it. What the Deputy Speaker wanted to hear is, how much did you buy this product per liter? By now you must have computed unit cost per liter. They're dancing around it and telling you stories. Nobody, that is exactly what the Deputy Speaker has been asking for, and nobody has answered that. Before they came here, sir, they were supposed to have computed their unit cost, because we can tell you our unit cost per seat. So you asked this question several times, sir, with due respect. Nobody has answered the question. They are dancing around the question. But I have the mandate of every airline in this country to announce to you, sir, that if they can't come down from their rooftop, we have only 3 more days to be able to fly. We are not threatening this country. We've been subsidizing what we are doing. Sir, I will give you the rates as of today. 630, 640, 605. We have an aircraft going to Kano. That one has about 7,000 liters of fuel on it. Multiply it, sir, by 630. The unit cost per seat already is about 70,000 naira per seat. About 70,000 naira per seat. You've not talked about the insurance that is very static. And Nigerians pay a lot of insurance premium because this country is stigmatized. The insurance, you have to insure in the Lloyd's of London and other places abroad. It is a must because all the insurance companies in Nigeria put together cannot even insure one aircraft. So you have to go abroad to insure. And they slam us with heavy premiums. What we use in insuring one plane is what the legacy airlines of this world use in insuring about 3 planes. So the Nigerian airline is dead on arrival. Yet, the fuel cost, which was supposed to be about 30 to 40% in every climb in the world, in Nigeria, I told you the other day, is about 70% even before this time. So you can now see the mortality rate of airlines in this country, the causes. See, they've refused to answer your simple question. How much, whether you got money from CBN or you got from the red market, how much is the unit cost of your acquisition? So that we know if the airlines are cheating you or you're cheating the airlines, or if you form a cartel to increase your prices overnight. From what is happening, sir, if we continue this way, the least tickets you will expect from airlines will be about 120,000 naira for economy. And we don't want to do that because it will not help the ordinary man. It will not help the ordinary man. I have the mandate of Airlines, sir, to inform the House that we are now demanding, Airlines is demanding that we should be given license to import this fuel. If we can buy jets that are costing hundreds of millions or $80 million, we can afford to import this fuel. Let NNPC give us the right to import fuel. I will not complain to you, sir.
My brother, I was, though trying to be a little bit hard with my brother because as far as I'm concerned, the basic issues that we left to come back to address today are not being addressed. And I do not think the way to proceed in any meeting, first is on the agreement, resolution, that's the premise to proceed on any meeting. And I read out what we resolved the other day, and that's why I'm asking this question. Until I specifically asked the other brother on the other side there, when he said they sold at the loss, I said, what was the unit cost at that time you were selling at the loss? So that we now know. And as said here, you are just using semantics and language. Here I'm after facts. We're on facts finding. We're not from language here. And I want to insist that please, let's be serious. Like I did mention to him, the House can go further. If you want us to go and expand investigation, we'll do that. We're not willing, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not willing to compromise what is in the interest of my own country. I'm not willing to do that. The first day we asked you about the people who are licensed, you gave a list of 28. After going through the list, you yourself, we saw some mistake there. And I was asking you specifically, mention the name of the companies. We'll call the companies one after the other. We can conduct a full-blown public hearing. We'll do that one, if that's what people want us to do. We thought by finding solution, it would be sufficient for us. And why not? If opening the gates would be better in the interest of the country, why wouldn't we open the gates? Is there any law that says those who are operating the airline cannot buy fuel? If that would solve the problem. But we are not in a position, and we do not want to close gates for other businesses in Nigeria. Whatever business you are going to close, it will affect other Nigerians who people are also finding their own means of livelihood in those areas of pursuit of life. That's not the essence of the house. We are to create opportunities and more wealth for Nigeria. But it should not be at the detriment of other citizens. That I do not agree. So please, let's be serious. I have gone through your own analysis here. And from the analysis, the highest for the open market was $575. I don't know when dollar has been sold. As of today, I can tell you the price of the parallel market. It's not so. So that analysis, as far as I'm concerned, is not correct. It is inflated in favor of the marketer. And I don't know why you, as a government agency, will go to do that one. Your position should be to protect Nigeria and protect the government, not to give leverage for other people to do wrong things. I don't like that, and nobody should appreciate that. I've seen the analysis for the CBN. The highest is 416. I didn't mention why we invited Chairman Banking and Currency. He will soon be with us. We'll also get to, if it means bringing the CBN governor, we'll bring him here to come and explain to us. Welcome, my brother.
Before this fuel aviation fuel crisis, how much were you buying later?
It was fluctuating, like I used to tell you, some
Average?
between 250 to 300.
When was that?
Even this last year.
Last year. Well, I'm talking about this year.
End of last year.
I'm talking about this year. This is March, so let me use like end of January. How much were you
End
buying?
of January, that was when they now raised it to 400.
400.
Then before you know it, the next day 420, 430.
So let's take an average of 400.
450. So every day
And
it
now
was
it's 70.
yes.
You know, because what I'm asking, you know, from what he told us, the quantity they imported should still be available.
I could last 34
Yes,
days. So
yes.
that, yeah.
So why can't they release those quantities they imported at that cost?
Please, sir.
So because it's,
May I, let's see if I can explain it a little bit better. Honorable members, the issue is an extremely emotive issue, and we understand why every Nigerian is pained, is worried. However, there are some things that are out of our control. If we can access the US dollar at 410, 415, the price would be different. Unfortunately, we cannot. The truth is that when you see 575, I have members who have accessed it at 580. Because what you buy on the street is different from what you get in transfer. It's a different, and then the dollar is just not available. The more you want, it should be cheaper, it's not. So the truth, sir, is if you can get it cheaper.
You buy your own.
We get it at, I have 3 different rates here because you don't always get it at the same rate.
Give us the banks and then the rates they are giving you. The names of the banks.
Well, I don't have I represent my principals. I don't have the bank rate, the name of the bank. I don't have the name of the bank.
Well, whichever source you are getting,
but this is how
will a black market transfer $100 million for you? Do they have the authority to do that?
Sir, with respect, sir, all of us who are businessmen who access dollars, even the airlines, you know, sir.
Give us the rate you have purchased for your own. Give us the rates.
I have here 3 rates.
Yes.
I have 520.
520.
I have 550.
550.
And I have 570.
570.
This is 10th of March, yes. Yes, sir. May I say, sir?
570.
Yes, sir.
520, 550, 570. All the same day?
No, these are projections that were made by different people.
So you are the one. Can you hear how they're playing with that?
No, that's what we are saying. What we are asking, those projections, the projections you are talking about, we are projections, the projections you are talking about, 520, 550, and 570, we are done on the 10th of March.
The projections, yes, sir.
Okay. And those were purchases you made.
Actually, sir, the only purchase that has been made was made at average exchange rate of 580.
Is it the average of the three?
So normally what happens, sir, is these days, in order to hedge, when you buy product, the trader puts the product in your tank. But the product in the tank still belongs to the trader. And on a daily basis, he gives you the price on that day. That's the new
So, but if
method.
you are able to have a yearly contract with international aviation
Yes,
operators,
yes.
now, and whether it is going up or down, you must oblige the contract, right?
So yes, sir. So this is how it works. See, because the international airline bases its price on Platts plus premium, Platts plus a rate. So what we now turn around and do is we tell the trader, put the product in our tank. There's no price because the price is going to be, what we're going to sell to the international airline is going to be based on Platts. So he in turn, on that day, will charge us based on Platts.
So what
plus.
is your practice with domestic airlines?
So
Domestic airlines either buying credit or the price on the day.
So it's just like a shelf item they buy on daily.
Absolutely.
What is the practice for domestic airlines in other jurisdictions?
So I happen to know a little bit about this, and I was very interested that that Chief said he was going to try and do some imports because Delta, for instance, actually bought into a refinery so that they could control the price of ATK. Well, that's big budget. Everyone else, the typical pricing pattern for aviation fuel is that they take the month's average of the previous month, and that's how you.
So why are you dealing with them on a shelf item?
They choose. They're the buyers. They choose how they're buyers. We're happy to have the same. We're happy to have the same arrangement.
When we started,
We want to know the companies that are here that are operating in this sector.
Yes, Chairman. The Moman PS is here.
Can you stand up?
Yes. Yes.
No, just sit down. We just want to see acknowledge your presence.
Yes, largely that's what I was checking, Right Honorable. There are 19 companies with current stock of ATK. Most of them are Moman members, and it will be good if come now. I think it's good to have a conversation around this to see. All of them have stock total over 88 million liters of ATK. All of them in tank, I believe so. So if they are in tank, and I know that one of them, after our intervention, we engaged Adoba to see what they can do. They can only sell.
Is Adoba here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
They can only sell 20,000 liters to Airpeace. Chairman, am I there?
No, take your seat.
Yes, sit
Well,
down.
I'm going
I'm
to-
just. I think they sold to Airpeace at 590. Is that correct? That's correct. Yes, they sold at 590 to. So I don't know if there are other transactions that took place from Friday till today among the other Moman.
Only double one.
But the data we have is showing that we have 88 million.
I can reel out some of the rates even this morning.
Okay, that means, yeah. No, okay. I didn't see. I didn't see. Thank you. Let me just consult them. Let's see what we're dealing with. We have our members have volumes, significant volumes, across the country. So there's no problem of scarcity. It's pricing. And probably everybody is reserving for international airlines. That's what it looks like. We have contract with international airlines.
International airlines have contracts, so we are obliged to keep product for them.
Chairman Onyema, can you come, please? Please come now. No, leave your cost. Cover your cost. I don't think it's embarrassing. Chairman, you guys.
Come out from come out from.
We are here to find solution. Whatever it will take to find good answers to the questions, we should be patient to go towards that direction. JFD, can you brief us what have been done behind during the unannounced break? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your patience also. We know this is a very difficult situation. We know that once aviation fuel increases, flight tickets will certainly increase, and this can surely cause pain for the Nigerian people. There's no doubt about it, and that's why we're working with you to ensure that those pains are minimized to the barest minimum, and one of the elements is the pricing of aviation fuel. So what we have engaged with MOMAN, DAPMAN, and the airline operators is that in 3 days' time, representations from MOMAN, DAPMAN, and the airline operators will sit down and agree on basis of a transparent basis of pricing, which means that they have to have a reference benchmark that is quoted transparently in the market. They will have a reference exchange rate for the Naira so that anyone can compute. And then they will also engage and agree on a premium which is differs from customer to customer depending on the volume of the product you buy and then the credit limit that you are able to do. So this is one thing that they can negotiate in 3 days and close so that they can, going forward, there's a transparent basis of pricing. This will no doubt throw off the actual value of the product in the market. You will not see these huge discrepancies that we have seen where some people are selling at 445 and some are selling at 630. This will completely bring it to almost closure that you will not see such differences. Then secondly, also we agreed that in the interim, between now and the 3 days that they will close the basis of pricing, because the lowest we have seen as at this morning is 445, and another high of 605. There's a trader that is selling at 630. We don't think this is normal, and therefore we discounted it. So without any science around it or logic, and let me emphasize, we agreed that they will sell it for the next 3 days at 500 naira to the liter, and on day 3 or day 4, they will switch to the new formula that everyone can access and can compute. And lastly, as requested by the Airline Operators Association of Nigeria, they will be granted license by the authority to import petroleum product, particularly ATK, so that they can have a way of benchmarking the sales from other customers. They can also bring in cheaper product whenever it is possible. Thank you very much, sir.
We thank you once again for convening this meeting, and we thank the GMD, who is the most transparent person in this hall. We thank him because, no, apart from you guys. No. On the part of the legislature, the legislature is wonderful. The Nigerian legislature is very wonderful. You people, without you guys, the airlines in Nigeria would have crumbled. And I'm not saying this in order to please you. You guys, you people were the ones who fought for the custom waivers on imported aircraft, custom waiver on ticket airfares, custom waiver on VAT on imported aircraft and aircraft spares. You fought for the airlines to have sustainable operations. So we owe you a huge gratitude, together with the president of this country, who signed it into law. We are very, very grateful. You people are the most transparent, followed by the GMD. The GMD was very, now I see why the Right Honorable Dr. Wase was praising him. I can see it. He was on no side. He was on the side of truth. He told me, Alan, you cannot do that, you're 200. But let us see. And he brought it to where it is. And also, we have to thank our DG, NCA, who has always been fighting for airlines, but making sure he breathes on our neck to make sure we fly safe. They don't, our NCA does not brood no prisoners. That is the truth. We have to be proud of our own in this country. It pains me that in this country, we always bad-mouthing Nigeria, bad-mouthing, seeing everything wrong in ourselves. The kind of oversight the NCA under his regime is doing on airlines in Nigeria, and even the ones before him, the first world, they don't do that kind of oversight. It is very difficult for any Nigerian aircraft to fall out of the skies again, by the grace of God. It will not happen, because of the kind of oversight regime we are meant to pass through. So we thank all of you for convening this. It's a win-win for the country, and I thank the GMD for wading into this. And we thank you all. We thank the public. And even though at 500, our unit cost per seat, now we come down to about 85,000. If we remain at 500, the unit cost per seat for a 110-seater aircraft, that is the truth. Bearing, insurance and other things. That is our pain. I wish we could buy this fuel at 200 so that Nigerian passengers and everyone will be able to afford flying. That is our predicament. So the public should understand if there is a shift from what they are paying now and what they are going to pay soon. Because it's open here about what is happening. Anybody can calculate it. Anybody can calculate it. You buy 8,000 liters of fuel at 500 naira. How much does that give you? That's about 4.something million on 1 hour flight. You just buy, how much does it, come out at the end of the day? So And at the same time, I don't know if the DG FCCPC is here. My friend, Dr. Erukera, is presented. Okay. We thank them too because they've been very understanding. And we also would like to plead with them to also watch over these are brothers in oil and gas so that we get things done for the country. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Deputy Speaker, sir, we're grateful for your invitation here today. The last thing I think any marketer wants is to create a situation where the general public have to pay hand over fist or over and beyond what the going rate for any product is. I think the resolution that we reached today is one that's amiable, and we look forward to working with our colleagues in the aviation sector so that we continue to deliver cost-efficient fuel to the Nigerians. Thank you.
Well, I believe strongly that it's better to judge than to war. Essentially, we know the implications of not getting problems solved. I believe that our duty here is not to win any argument, it's to find solution, and that we have done today. So we should, on this paradigm, continue to work for the Nigerian people. I will also plead that whatever assistance the GMD and then the regulatory authorities can give to the aviation industry is very important. Whether it's access to Forex, whether it is licensing, it is very, very important because the market is a bit chaotic now. And whatever impact we have, whatever impact the aviation industry, it has security consequence because now people are not able to travel freely on the road. So whatever interventions you can do, please do that. And I would also appreciate if the GMD can also ensure that the agreement or the discussions that will take place in the next 3 days should happen so that we don't get back here trying to reinvent the wheel. Thank you for doing your best.
Well, my brothers and colleagues, my bosses, honorable members, our chief executive here present, the marketers in the fuel of the aviation industry, the operators of the airliners, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate all of you on behalf of the Speaker, leadership and members of the House of Representatives for the cooperation extended to us so far during this very particular work. We so much appreciate. At least we have come to terms. We have agreed on a number of things that will help the industry. Moving forward, we have a basis and a baseline for us to work. So we so much appreciate. GMD, we thank you very much. We'll continue to appreciate you. We'll continue to appreciate the chief executive of NCA who came here very transparently, discussed with her very well, and all your support staff, we all appreciate all of you. The cooperation is extended to us from both the two sides, the operators and the airline, those in the business of the fuel, we also appreciate. And we thank above all the general public for keeping us on toes, because immediately after the last sitting, I saw a reflection of what was discussed, transmitted, I would say, in a very good manner, speaking about the minds of Nigerians, what they want and what will happen, and today it has happened. It's the positive side of it. Thank you very much. We'll make our report available by the grace of God as early as tomorrow for planning for them to consider. We thank you for this very wonderful opportunity, and we thank God above all for the life, good health He has given us, and the direction He has given us to solve this matter. Our prayer, like my brother just mentioned over Toby, is that we pray that you will follow up GMD to ensure that what we have agreed will not come again to have a discussion on it. It's not a prayer. However, I will give it to you and all others that we are going to put it in the clouds there for a monitor of this particular discussion to ensure it is implemented to the fullest, so that we have a very good instrument for us all to work with. Thank you very much. May God help us. Thank you.